Sure. Well, I think another promise made and promise kept from President Trump. He obviously issued an EO in the early days of his presidency, basically fast tracking, trying to expand American rare earths, whether the actual procuring of them or the processing. And today it was just announced that in about a week, you're going to have the grand opening of really the first in 70 years of a rare earth mining facility out in Wyoming. Come to life, which is something that, like I said, we haven't seen for 70 years. It's a copper mine. It's the first, I believe, in 50 years, particularly that rare earth, like I said, in the state of Wyoming. It'll be a big event, sort of following the July 4th spirit. But I think to your point, so much of this comes back to the rare earths. Why do I say that? I think after the first trade war, right, the PRC really understood that they needed to change and shift their strategy to sort of fix for some of their shortcomings, of which they identified rare earths, the kind of vertical integration from start to finish, the whole process, smelting or deep processing, whatever. And they did that, right, with Made in China 2025, really ratcheting up. They sort of combined, made these conglomerates, a lot of their rare earth companies. And I think this speaks to President Trump's sort of hemispheric defense policy, right? But you sort of put that through the paradigm of unrestricted warfare. It's not just kinetic action. It's really, like we said, these chips, the semiconductors, name your item, that we see not just in sort of the confines of military civil fusion, but being used just for typical everyday Western life. And the PRC certainly understands this. If you want to toss the article up on screen from the Wall Street Journal just a few days ago, showing that the PRC is actually withholding the passports of Chinese sort of engineers in this field because they don't want them to leave. They don't want them to share the technology with the United States. And I think this is another called shot for the war room. Our intellectual betters over at Foreign Policy had a big piece up just today talking extensively about how rare earths have sort of been China's cudgel in this ongoing trade war. So I think this is a historic development. Of course, no real coverage from the legacy media on anything that this administration is doing on the rare earth front. But